Milt Spector was an optometrist. His son Mark is keeping an eye on what's going on with Connor McDavid and the Edmonton Oilers. And there's been news the last few days regarding Connor, but what's the latest update as of Tuesday morning?
Well, as of Tuesday morning, Connor McDavid will be out with a quad injury for 2 to 3 weeks. General Manager Ken Holland announced. On Monday, Connor McDavid took just a little bit of practice time, came off, said, look, I got a bruised quad. I'm calling it a Charlie horse. I think I'm fine. I might play tomorrow. But they went for an MRI on Monday, and it showed a semi-significant quad injury that will require at least 2 weeks of rehabbing. I'll say this, while they had that MRI, they also looked at the left knee, which was, of course, was injured in Game 82 last year. So the good news is here, A, these two injuries have absolutely nothing to do with each other, and B, looking at that left knee injury, the PCL tear from last year, it's come along just great. So this is a quad injury, not a knee injury. 2 to 3 weeks.
Well, as we saw in the documentary, Whatever It Takes, Connor McDavid had his own, medical team, group of people that helped him recover. How will the Oilers approach this less significant injury when it comes to recovering?
Well, Connor McDavid will go back to Toronto, Gene, to his medical team there. Ken Holland, the general manager, said, look, if we were staying home, he'd stay home and work with our medical team, but we're going on the road. And anyone who's traveled with a hockey team knows that the medical team on a hockey road trip, it's kind of like a MASH unit. They're picking up and leaving all the time. So this is by far the best situation. Connor McDavid will go home probably until next Monday. While the Oilers are on the road, he'll go back to the medical team that if you watch the documentary, you saw it's a pretty complicated, high-end deal out there. No doubt best for the player. Then they'll come back and see how many games he's going to miss.
Well, speaking of that, not many games prior to the trade deadline. How might this impact Ken Holland and his determination on what to do for the Oilers as the deadline approaches?
Well, it's funny. Like, you don't go out and trade for Connor McDavid. And if you do, you better do it quick. This will impact the Oilers trade line like this. If they lose a whole bunch of games, now he's going to be reticent because Ken Holland won't want to give up a bunch of assets or draft picks for a team that might not make the playoffs. If they hang in there, if they win some games, he's going to say, look, we're going to get Connor McDavid back. I got a good enough team underneath him to have survived this injury. Could be 7 games, could be 10 games. So that's how it will impact his trade deadline. Just watch the standings. As long as the Oilers are close, Ken Holland will augment. If they fall right out of this thing, I suspect he will not.
The Oilers will recall someone from Bakersfield to replace Connor McDavid's roster spot, but of course there's no replacing Connor McDavid. For Mark Spector, I'm Gene Principe for Sportsnet in Edmonton.